The night sky over the ancient Egyptian desert was ablaze with stars, casting an ethereal glow over the sand dunes. Amidst this timeless landscape, a streak of light suddenly tore through the darkness, followed by the deafening roar of a crash. Zarkon's spaceship, a sleek metallic craft adorned with pulsating lights, plummeted from the heavens and collided with the earth below. As the dust settled, Zarkon emerged from the wreckage, his silver alien form shimmering in the moonlight. With a sense of urgency, he surveyed the scene, his alien senses alert to the dangers of this unfamiliar world. Beside him, Nala, his trusty robotic companion, clanked and whirred as she emerged from the wreckage, her metallic frame gleaming in the moonlight. "Zarkon, where are we?" Nala's mechanical voice crackled with static as she scanned their surroundings, her robotic eyes flashing with data. Zarkon's alien features twisted into a frown as he assessed their situation. "We've crash-landed on an unknown planet, Nala. We must proceed with caution." Nala's sensors whirred as she analyzed the wreckage. "It appears our ship has sustained significant damage. We'll need to find a way to repair it if we hope to return home." Zarkon nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. "Agreed. But first, we need to assess our surroundings and determine if there are any inhabitants nearby." As they ventured out into the desert, Zarkon's alien senses detected movement on the horizon. He squinted into the darkness, his eyes adjusting to the dim light of the moon. "Someone approaches," Zarkon murmured, his voice tinged with a mixture of caution and curiosity. Nala's mechanical eyes flashed as she analyzed the approaching figure. "It appears to be a humanoid, similar in physiology to the inhabitants of this planet." Zarkon raised a hand in greeting as the figure drew nearer, his alien features illuminated by the moonlight. "Hello?" he called out tentatively. The figure halted in its tracks, its eyes widening in astonishment at the sight of the alien and his robotic companion. It took a cautious step forward, curiosity overcoming its initial fear. Who are you?" the figure stammered, its voice filled with wonder and apprehension. Zarkon offered a reassuring smile. "My name is Zarkon, and this is Nala. We come from a distant world in search of assistance." The figure eyed them warily, but something in Zarkon's demeanor seemed to put it at ease. "I am Horus, a humble inhabitant of these lands," the figure said, its tone hesitant but friendly. Zarkon extended a hand in friendship. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Horus. We find ourselves in need of your help. Can you assist us?" Horus hesitated for a moment before nodding. "Of course, Zarkon. I will do what I can to aid you." With Horus's help, Zarkon and Nal began to formulate a plan for survival in this strange and ancient land, their unlikely alliance marking the beginning of an extraordinary adventure. Chapter 2. Meeting Horus. The sun beat down mercilessly on the sandy streets of the ancient Egyptian settlement as Zarkon and Nal ventured forth in search of assistance. They passed by mud brick houses and bustling markets, drawing curious stares from the locals as they made their way through the crowded streets. As they rounded a corner, they came upon a group of workers toiling under the scorching sun, their backs bent beneath the weight of heavy stone blocks. Among them stood a young man, his features obscured by the glare of the sun, directing the labor with authority. "That must be Horus," Zarkon whispered to Nal, nodding towards the young man. Nala's sensors whirred as she analyzed the scene. "Confirmed. Shall we approach him?" Zarkon nodded, his curiosity piqued by the sight of the young architect. With determined strides, they made their way towards Horus, who eyed them with suspicion as they approached. "Halt! Who goes there?" Horus called out, his hand instinctively reaching for the dagger at his waist. Zarkon raised his hands in a gesture of peace. "Fear not, Horus. We mean you no harm." Horus narrowed his eyes, studying the alien and his robotic companion with a mixture of apprehension and curiosity. "What manner of beings are you? I have never seen the likes of you before." "We are travelers from a distant world," Zarkon explained, his voice calm and measured. "We find ourselves in need of assistance, and we were told you might be able to help us." Horus regarded them with a skeptical expression, but something in Zarkon's demeanor seemed to resonate with him. "I am Horus, a humble architect of these lands. What assistance do you require?" Zarkon glanced around, taking in the bustling activity of the settlement. "We seek information about the construction of the pyramids and the mysterious disappearances of the workers." Horus's eyes widened in surprise at the mention of the pyramids. "You speak of the great monuments that rise from the sands, built by the hands of our ancestors. They are a marvel to behold, but they come at a great cost." He paused, his expression growing somber. "Many workers have vanished without a trace, taken by unknown forces in the dead of night. It is a mystery that has plagued our people for generations." Zarkon exchanged a glance with Null, his alien mind buzzing with possibilities. "We must investigate this further. Will you help us, Horus?" Horus hesitated for a moment before nodding. "Very well, Zarkon. Together we shall uncover the truth behind these disappearances." With newfound determination, Zarkon, Nala, and Horus set out to unravel the mystery of the vanished workers, their unlikely alliance marking the beginning of a perilous journey into the heart of ancient Egypt. Chapter 3. Uncovering the Plot. Zarkon and Horus ventured deeper into the heart of the Egyptian desert, following the trail of clues left behind by the vanished workers. Their path led them to a remote encampment at the base of the Great Pyramids, where they hoped to find answers to the mystery that had gripped their minds. As they approached the encampment, Null's sensors suddenly began to malfunction, emitting a series of erratic beeps and whirs. "What's happening, Nala?" Zarkon asked, his brow furrowed in concern. Nala shook her robotic head, sparks flying from her sensors. "Malfunction detected. Error in system. Apologies, Zarkon." Before Zarkon could respond, Null lurched forward, careening into a stack of crates nearby. The crates toppled over with a loud crash, drawing the attention of the nearby workers. "Oops, my apologies," Null said sheepishly, her robotic voice tinged with embarrassment. Zarkon sighed, shaking his head at his clumsy companion. "We must be more careful, Nala. We don't want to draw unnecessary attention to ourselves." Horus watched the scene unfold with a mixture of amusement and confusion. What manner of contraption is this? Zarkon quickly explained Null's robotic nature to Horus, who regarded the robotic companion with wide-eyed wonder. "Remarkable," Horus murmured, reaching out to touch Null's metallic frame. Nala recoiled slightly at the unexpected touch, her sensors whirring in protest. "Please refrain from touching. It may exacerbate the malfunction." As they regrouped, Zarkon and Horus resumed their investigation, scouring the encampment for any signs of the vanished workers. It wasn't long before they stumbled upon a series of strange markings etched into the sand, leading towards the base of the pyramid. "These markings? They are unlike anything I've ever seen," Horus remarked, his fingers tracing the intricate patterns. Zarkon examined the markings closely, his alien mind racing with possibilities. I believe these are Vorlaxian symbols. It seems the invaders have been here all along. Horus's eyes widened in disbelief. Vorlaxians? Here, in Egypt. But why? Zarkon's expression darkened as realization dawned. They seek to harness the energy of the pyramids for their war machines. We must stop them before it's too late. As they made their way towards the base of the pyramid, a sense of urgency gripped Zarkon and Horus. They knew that time was running out, and the fate of their world hung in the balance. Chapter 4. Forming an Alliance. With the threat of the Vorlaxians looming large, Zarkon, Nala, and Horus convened in the shadows of the encampment, their minds ablaze with the urgency of their mission. We must act swiftly if we are to stop the Vorlaxians, Zarkon declared, his voice firm with determination. Horus nodded in agreement, his eyes blazing with newfound resolve. But how do we infiltrate their base without drawing suspicion? Nal's sensors whirred as she processed the dilemma. I suggest we disguise ourselves as workers. It will allow us to move freely within the compound without arousing suspicion. Zarkon's alien features twisted into a thoughtful expression. An excellent idea, Nala, but we must tread carefully. The Vorlaxians are a formidable foe. With their plan in place, Zarkon, Nal, and Horus set about gathering supplies and preparing their disguises. Horus fashioned crude garments from scraps of cloth, while Nal utilized her advanced technology to create convincing holographic disguises for herself and Zarkon. As they made their final preparations, Nal couldn't resist a quip. I must say, Zarkon, you look positively fetching in your worker attire. Zarkon rolled his eyes, but a small smile tugged at the corners of his lips. Let's focus on the task at hand, shall we? With their disguises in place, the trio set out towards the Vorlaxian compound, under the cover of darkness. The journey was fraught with danger, but they pressed on, their determination unwavering in the face of adversity. As they approached the compound, Nala's attempts at blending in provided unexpected comedic relief. Her robotic movements were stiff and awkward, drawing curious glances from the other workers. Perhaps you should try to be less robotic, Horus suggested, stifling a laugh. Nala huffed indignantly. I'll have you know, blending in is not as easy as it looks. Despite the comedic mishaps, they managed to reach the outskirts of the Vorlaxian compound undetected. With their hearts pounding with anticipation, they prepared to infiltrate the enemy stronghold and put an end to their nefarious plans, once and for all. Chapter 5. The Showdown. With hearts pounding and adrenaline coursing through their veins, Zarkon, Nala, and Horus ventured deeper into the heart of the Vorlaxian compound, their eyes scanning the shadows for any sign of danger. They knew that the fate of their world hung in the balance, and failure was not an option. As they reached the inner chambers of the compound, they came face to face with the Vorlaxians, their alien forms towering over them with menacing intent. Zarkon's jaw clenched with determination as he prepared to confront their formidable foes. "We're outnumbered," Horus whispered, his voice tinged with apprehension. Zarkon nodded, his alien eyes ablaze with resolve. "But we have the element of surprise on our side. We must use it to our advantage." With a silent nod, they sprang into action, launching a coordinated assault on the Vorlaxians. Horus used his knowledge of Egyptian architecture to outsmart their advanced technology, leading them on a harrowing chase through the labyrinthine corridors of the compound. Meanwhile, Nal's comedic antics proved to be a surprisingly effective distraction, drawing the attention of the Vorlaxian guards with her exaggerated movements and witty banter. "Hey, over here, you big ugly lugs!" Nal taunted, ducking and weaving as the guards lunged towards her with snarling ferocity. Zarkon seized the opportunity to strike, his alien agility allowing him to slip past the distracted guards and reach the heart of the compound. With swift precision, he disabled the energy extraction devices, cutting off the Vorlaxians' power source and throwing their plans into disarray. As the compound erupted into chaos, Zarkon, Nala, and Horus fought valiantly against the Vorlaxians, their determination unyielding in the face of overwhelming odds. With each blow landed and each foe vanquished, they inched closer to victory, their bond of friendship serving as a beacon of hope in the darkness. But just as it seemed they were on the brink of triumph, a deafening roar echoed through the chamber, signaling the arrival of the Vorlaxian leader. Towering over them with fearsome authority, the leader's eyes burned with malice as it prepared to unleash its wrath upon them. Zarkon, Nal, and Horus stood shoulder to shoulder, their resolve unshakable as they prepared to face their greatest challenge yet. With the fate of their world hanging in the balance, they knew that only together could they hope to emerge victorious against the might of the Vorlaxians. Chapter 6. Victory and Farewell. With the Vorlaxian leader defeated and their plans thwarted, a sense of relief washed over Zarkon, Nala, and Horus. They stood amidst the wreckage of the Vorlaxian compound, their breaths coming in ragged gasps as they surveyed the aftermath of their epic battle. "We did it," Zarkon said, his voice filled with quiet satisfaction. "The Vorlaxian threat has been neutralized." Horus nodded, a grateful smile playing on his lips. "I cannot thank you enough for your help, Zarkon. Nala, you have saved my people and our world from certain destruction." Nala beeped cheerfully, her sensors whirring with pride. "It was our pleasure, Horus. Besides, what are friends for if not to save the day?" Horus chuckled, his eyes twinkling with gratitude. "Indeed, I will never forget the bravery and camaraderie you have shown. You are true heroes." As they prepared to part ways, Zarkon's thoughts turned to their own mission. "It is time for us to return home, Nala. Our own world awaits." Nala nodded, her robotic frame humming with anticipation. "Affirmative, Zarkon. Let us bid farewell to our friend Horus and depart for the stars." With a heavy heart, Horus extended his hand in friendship to Zarkon and Nal. "Safe travels, my friends. May the stars guide you on your journey home." Zarkon clasped Horus's hand firmly, his gaze meeting the young architect's with a mixture of respect and admiration. "Thank you, Horus. We will never forget the kindness you have shown us." As they prepared to depart, Nal couldn't resist one last quip. "Well, Horus, it's been a blast, but duty calls, and the universe awaits our next adventure." Horus laughed, his heart lighter than it had been in weeks. "Farewell, Nal. Farewell, Zarkon. May our paths cross again some day." With a final wave goodbye, Zarkon and Nal boarded their spaceship and soared into the heavens, leaving Horus with a newfound sense of wonder about the universe and the extraordinary beings who inhabit it. As he watched them disappear into the vastness of space, Horus knew that their brief encounter had changed him forever, reminding him of the boundless possibilities that lay beyond the horizon. Chapter 7. Epilogue. As Zarkon and Null soared through the endless expanse of space, their spaceship cutting through the darkness like a comet, they found themselves lost in thought, reflecting on the whirlwind adventure they had experienced on Earth. "Can you believe everything we went through, Nala?" Zarkon mused, his alien voice tinged with wonder. Null beeped in agreement, her robotic frame humming softly. "It was certainly an eventful experience, Zarkon. From crash landing in the desert to battling Vorlaxian invaders, I'd say we've had quite the adventure." Zarkon chuckled, the memories of their time on Earth flooding back to him. Who would have thought that we'd find ourselves embroiled in a conflict on a distant planet? And to think, it all started with a simple malfunction. Null's sensors whirred with amusement. "Ah, yes. Your malfunctioning spaceship certainly did lead us on quite the journey. But in the end, it brought us closer together, Zarkon." Zarkon nodded, a fond smile playing on his lips. "Indeed, Null. Despite the dangers we faced, we emerged stronger and more united than ever before. And we have Horus to thank for that." Their thoughts turned to their friend Horus, the brave Egyptian architect who had welcomed them with open arms and helped them in their time of need. "I wonder how Horus is faring," Zarkon mused, his voice tinged with concern. Nala's sensors flickered with empathy. "I'm sure he's doing just fine, Zarkon. Horus is a resilient and resourceful individual. He'll be able to rebuild his world and continue to inspire others, just as he inspired us." Zarkon nodded in agreement, his gaze drifting towards the distant stars. "Indeed, Nala. And no matter where our adventures take us next, we will always carry the memory of our time on Earth and the friendship we forged with Horus." As they gazed at the stars, Zarkon and Null knew that their journey was far from over. But with each twinkle of light in the vast expanse of space, they found comfort in the knowledge that they were not alone. Together, they would continue to explore the wonders of the universe, guided by the resilience and camaraderie they had discovered on Earth.